The morning has a quality unlike any other time of the day. Before the noise begins, before your phone lights up with messages, before the world demands a piece of you, there exists a sacred moment. It's fragile, quiet, and easily overlooked, yet within this brief window lies the power to shape the entire course of your day. Think about it. Most of us wake up already carrying yesterday's worries. We replay unfinished conversations, uncompleted tasks, or regrets that cling to us like shadows. And even before our feet touch the floor, we've already surrendered the peace of a brand new morning. We reach for our phones, scroll through headlines and notifications, and let the outside world dictate the state of our inner world. But what if it didn't have to be that way? In Buddhism, the morning is not simply a routine. It is a doorway, a chance to return to the present, to realign with your truth, and to choose the quality of your own mind before the world chooses it for you. This perspective may sound small, but its consequences are profound, because your thoughts shape your energy, and your energy shapes the reality you will walk into. Imagine this scene. The room is still, the air is cool, and a soft glow of early light spills through the window. You sit up gently, place your feet on the ground, and rest one hand over your heart. In that simple act of awareness, you begin to reset. You are telling yourself, before I face the world, I will meet myself. This is not a ritual reserved for monks or mystics. It is an invitation available to anyone who chooses to pause and breathe before the rush begins. History reminds us how powerful such intentional pauses can be. Leaders like Nelson Mandela, after decades of imprisonment, began each day not with bitterness but with grounding, choosing to direct his mind toward peace and resilience. Or consider Oprah Winfrey, who has spoken openly about the importance of morning stillness, carving out time to anchor her spirit before engaging with millions of people. These figures, different in background and path, understood a common truth: if you don't own your morning, the world will own it for you. And so, Buddhism offers us a timeless practice, to treat the first voice we hear each day as sacred. Not the voice of yesterday's regrets, not the noise of today's demands, but the quiet reminder of presence. The Buddha himself often taught that the mind, when directed at the very start of the day, is like a cart at the top of a hill. Set it wisely, and it will roll in the right direction with little effort. Here at Dharma Veins, we believe mornings are more than minutes on a clock. They are opportunities, tiny openings where the threads of wisdom and daily life can be woven together. Each video, each reflection we share, is meant to guide you back to that doorway, the moment before the world arrives. Because in that moment, you are free to choose. Will you rush, or will you awaken? Will you scatter your attention, or will you anchor it in peace? What you will discover is that the path does not require complicated rituals or hours of meditation. It begins with a single breath, with a hand on your chest, with a phrase whispered gently to yourself. These micro-practices ripple outward. They affect how you speak to your children, how you handle stress at work, how you walk into a crowded room. One moment of presence at dawn can transform countless moments throughout the day. So before the world demands your attention, claim this sacred pause. Step into the morning not as a prisoner of yesterday or a hostage of tomorrow, but as a conscious being who remembers, this moment is enough. That is the essence of Buddhist practice, not escape from life, but a deeper embrace of it. If you're ready to explore how timeless wisdom can reshape your everyday mornings, you are in the right place. This is what Dharma Veins is about. Finding the pulse of peace that runs quietly through the veins of our lives, waiting to be remembered each new day. 1. I am here. I am alive. This moment is enough. When you wake up and tell yourself, I am here. I am alive. This moment is enough. You are aligning with one of the deepest truths in Buddhism: the impermanence of all things. Life is fleeting, fragile, and unpredictable. To recognize that you are alive in this very instant is to awaken to gratitude, clarity, and the sacredness of the present. The past has dissolved into memory. The future is not yet born. Only this breath, only this heartbeat, exists, and in that recognition, you touch freedom. This teaching might sound simple, almost too ordinary, yet simplicity often hides the greatest wisdom. Consider how leaders like Nelson Mandela endured decades of imprisonment. He survived not by drowning in the weight of tomorrow but by grounding himself in each moment, reading, reflecting, and maintaining dignity even within a cell. Similarly, Steve Jobs often reminded his teams to stay present, knowing that innovation comes not from obsessing over yesterday's failures or tomorrow's anxieties, but from fully inhabiting the now. These examples illustrate what Buddhism has always emphasized: presence is power. From a practical perspective, beginning the day with this affirmation is a reset. Instead of reaching for your phone and absorbing yesterday's unfinished business or today's endless tasks, you pause. You sit up slowly, place your feet on the ground, and rest one hand over your heart. With 3 deep breaths, you anchor your body and your mind in awareness. This small act is not a ritual for ritual's sake. It is a declaration that your worth and peace do not depend on external achievements. You are enough because this moment is enough. In Buddhism, suffering often arises from craving, wanting life to be different from what it is, or from aversion, rejecting what has already arrived. But when you start your day by affirming, "I am here. I am alive," you gently loosen the grip of both. You no longer need the perfect body, the perfect career, or the perfect family to feel grateful. The very act of breathing becomes proof that life is still offering you opportunity, that your purpose is not finished. Philosophically, this practice is about aligning with anicca, the principle of impermanence. Everything changes, everything passes. To be fully present is to honor this reality with humility instead of resistance. Psychologically, it interrupts the cycle of racing thoughts. You step out of the storm of what-ifs and return to the calm eye of awareness. Ultimately, the message is clear. Strength is not found in controlling time or fixing every flaw. It is found in the courage to rest deeply in what is. And when you make this your first act of the morning, you don't just prepare for the day ahead, you transform the day itself. 2. Nothing outside me can disturb my peace unless I allow it. When you affirm each morning, "Nothing outside me can disturb my peace unless I allow it," you are stepping into one of Buddhism's most liberating truths. Peace is not the absence of conflict, chaos, or difficulty. It is the ability to remain undisturbed within those conditions. The outside world, with all its noise, criticism, and unpredictability, cannot penetrate your center unless you grant it permission. In Buddhist terms, suffering is not created by events themselves but by the way the mind reacts to them. This principle resonates far beyond temples and monasteries. Consider Barack Obama during his presidency. Whether facing economic collapse, terrorism, or relentless political opposition, he was constantly tested by external pressures. Yet what distinguished him was his ability to remain measured, calm, and reflective. His peace was not dictated by headlines or anger in the room. It was maintained by his deliberate choice of response. Similarly, Queen Elizabeth II became a symbol of steadiness during times of national crisis. Her public composure, regardless of scandals or wars, demonstrated the power of inner equanimity over external chaos. In Buddhism, this teaching relates directly to the practice of upekkha, or equanimity. It is the recognition that you cannot control storms outside, but you can control whether you step into them. Imagine building a shield of peace around your mind. Every morning, before the day tests you, you remind yourself, "I choose clarity, not reactivity. I choose calm, not chaos." This visualization may seem symbolic, but neuroscience confirms that intentional mental framing rewires the brain, preparing it to meet challenges with balance rather than panic. Practically, this means when someone criticizes you, you pause instead of reacting defensively. When traffic or workplace stress provokes irritation, you breathe before responding. This does not make you passive or indifferent, rather, it gives you the power to act with awareness instead of being controlled by impulse. As the Buddha taught, it is not the arrow that wounds us most, it is the second arrow we shoot at ourselves through anger, resentment, and endless rumination. World leaders, CEOs, and changemakers often illustrate this truth. Their success depends less on eliminating problems and more on how they hold themselves amid pressure. You can live the same way. Every morning, by declaring that nothing outside can disturb your peace without your consent. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You reclaim authority over your inner world. And from that center of calm, you gain the clarity to face challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to embody wisdom and compassion. 3. I will treat myself with kindness, not judgment. When you begin the day by affirming, "I will treat myself with kindness," not judgment. You are embracing one of the most radical yet compassionate insights of Buddhism. True compassion must first be directed inward. In a world that constantly measures worth by achievement, appearance, or productivity, self-criticism often becomes our default voice. Yet the Buddha taught that harsh judgment only deepens suffering, while gentleness and understanding open the door to transformation. This principle has echoes in the lives of leaders who carried immense responsibility. Take Eleanor Roosevelt, who faced relentless public scrutiny during her years as First Lady. She admitted to frequent self-doubt but deliberately chose self-compassion as her anchor, reminding herself that mistakes were part of the learning process. Or consider Barack Obama, who spoke openly about self-reflection without self-condemnation, recognizing that one cannot lead effectively if one is paralyzed by shame. Their resilience stemmed not from perfection but from treating themselves with kindness in the face of imperfection. In Buddhist psychology, this practice is tied to metta, loving kindness, and karuna, compassion. The instruction is not to ignore our flaws, but to see them as opportunities for growth rather than as permanent stains. Each time you recall a misstep, an unkind word, a missed deadline, a poor decision, you can choose to imagine a warm light radiating from your heart, spreading throughout your body. This visualization symbolizes acceptance. You are a human being learning, not a machine expected to perform flawlessly. From a practical standpoint, this affirmation rewires the way you meet challenges. Instead of replaying failures endlessly, you pause and remind yourself, this mistake does not define me. It teaches me. Over time, this inner gentleness creates psychological resilience. Modern research in self-compassion confirms what Buddhism taught centuries ago. People who respond to their own struggles with kindness are less anxious, less depressed, and more motivated to improve. Think of leaders like Nelson Mandela, who after 27 years in prison could have been consumed by bitterness. Instead, he extended compassion not only to his oppressors but also to himself, refusing to let self-hatred take root. That capacity to treat himself with kindness empowered him to offer forgiveness on a national scale. The ripple always begins within. By affirming, I will treat myself with kindness, not judgment, you set a foundation for every interaction that follows. A person who has cultivated self-compassion naturally extends patience and empathy to others. The inner critic weakens, the inner teacher strengthens, and mistakes transform into stepping stones rather than weights. In this way, kindness to oneself becomes not a private indulgence but a public service, because a mind at peace with itself is a mind capable of spreading peace to the world. 4. Everything I need is already within me. When you affirm, everything I need is already within me, you are drawing upon one of Buddhism's most profound insights. Fulfillment does not come from chasing what lies outside but from uncovering what has always been present within. The human mind often convinces itself that happiness depends on acquiring more wealth, recognition, or affection. Yet Buddhism teaches that this craving is precisely what binds us to dissatisfaction. The truth is simple but easily overlooked, like a lantern covered in dust. Your inner light is not absent, only obscured. With awareness and practice, the dust can be cleared, and the light shines naturally. This principle is not only philosophical but deeply practical. Leaders throughout history have embodied it. Mahatma Gandhi led a movement against the most powerful empire of his time. Not with weapons or vast resources, but with the conviction that truth and resilience already resided within him and his people. Similarly, Oprah Winfrey built an empire not because she sought constant external validation but because she trusted her inner voice, even when the world underestimated her. These figures illustrate the Buddhist idea that strength, clarity, and compassion are not borrowed from outside forces, they are cultivated from within. In practice, this affirmation calls for a subtle but radical shift. Each morning, instead of immediately grasping for validation through likes, emails, or approval, you pause. You breathe and remind yourself, I already possess the clarity to face today, the compassion to forgive, and the resilience to endure. Visualization can help. Picture a dusty lantern in your heart. As you breathe, imagine gently wiping away the dust of doubt, comparison, and fear until the natural glow emerges. That glow is your wisdom, your capacity for love, your innate dignity. Psychologically, This affirmation counteracts the narrative of deficiency that drives so much stress. Modern neuroscience confirms that cultivating an inner sense of sufficiency reduces anxiety and strengthens resilience. Spiritually, it echoes the Buddhist recognition that the awakened mind is not something to be manufactured, it is discovered. The Buddha did not give people enlightenment as a gift. He pointed them back to their own luminous nature. Think of Nelson Mandela again. After decades in prison, he did not emerge hollow, waiting for others to fill him. He emerged with a fullness that had been cultivated within: patience, forgiveness, and vision. That inner wealth allowed him to transform not only himself but also an entire nation. By beginning the day with, "Everything I need is already within me," you remind yourself that you are not empty, waiting to be completed by the world. You are whole, and the work of your life is to remember and embody that wholeness. From this place of sufficiency, generosity flows naturally, because when you no longer grasp for what you lack, you become free to share what you already are. 5. Let me be the cause of peace today. When you affirm, "Let me be the cause of peace today," you are stepping into one of Buddhism's highest aspirations. That inner calm is not an endpoint but a seed to be planted outward. Buddhism teaches that true awakening is not measured only by personal serenity but by the ripple effect of that serenity in the lives of others. Peace is contagious. Every word, every gesture, every silent thought can either sow harmony or perpetuate conflict. To consciously choose to be the cause of peace is to accept responsibility for the atmosphere you bring into every space. Consider figures like the Dalai Lama, who has carried the grief of exile for decades yet consistently radiates compassion and humor. His very presence calms others, even those who disagree with him politically. Or think of Martin Luther King Jr., who walked into hostile crowds and jail cells with an unwavering commitment to nonviolence, knowing his composure could soften fear and inspire courage. These leaders remind us that peace is not passive, it is active, deliberate, and transformative. The Buddhist practice of metta, or loving-kindness meditation, offers a practical doorway into this aspiration. Each morning, you can sit quietly and send silent wishes. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be at peace. Then extend the same wishes outward, to loved ones, strangers, even adversaries. This simple exercise trains the heart to expand its circle of care. By doing so, you prime yourself to interact with the world not from tension but from compassion. To be the cause of peace does not require heroic acts. It is found in the mundane moments: answering a coworker's question with patience instead of irritation, pausing before raising your voice in traffic, offering a genuine smile to a stranger. These are not insignificant. Neuroscience shows that such small acts of kindness shift both giver and receiver into calmer states, breaking cycles of stress. The Buddha himself emphasized that even a drop of water, when repeated, can fill a vessel. In the same way, every micro act of peace accumulates into a life of profound influence. Leaders like Nelson Mandela demonstrated this truth after emerging from decades of imprisonment. Rather than retaliating with vengeance, he chose reconciliation, becoming a cause of peace for an entire nation. His decision to embody forgiveness rather than anger illustrates the transformative power of one individual's choice to be peace itself. By affirming, "Let me be the cause of peace today," you declare that your role is not merely to shield yourself from chaos but to actively generate calm for others. This does not mean ignoring injustice or becoming passive. It means responding from clarity instead of fury, from compassion instead of fear. In every interaction, you have the chance to plant a seed, either of division or of harmony. Buddhism reminds us that when your own heart becomes a lantern of peace, its light will inevitably touch the world around you. Before we close, let us take a moment to gently recall the 5 affirmations that can reshape the way we begin our mornings. 1. I am here. I am alive. This moment is enough. 2. Nothing outside me can disturb my peace unless I allow it. 3. I will treat myself with kindness, not judgment. 4. Everything I need is already within me. 5. Let me be the cause of peace today. These are not just sentences to memorize. They are gentle companions, reminders that your strength does not lie in perfection but in presence. You don't need to master them all at once. Each morning is a new chance, a fresh page, a soft beginning, just like the lotus that rises slowly through muddy water before it blossoms in the sun. Awakening does not happen in one moment, it unfolds little by little through daily practice. So be patient with yourself. If you forget one morning, begin again the next. If your thoughts drift, gently return. Progress in the Dharma is never about sudden leaps but about steady steps, taken with sincerity. Here is my invitation for you. Try these 5 affirmations for 7 days. Whisper them to yourself each morning before the day begins, and observe what changes. Do you feel lighter, calmer, more open? After the 7 days, come back and share your experience in the comments below. Your reflections might inspire someone else who is just beginning this journey. And if you find value in what you've heard today, I encourage you to subscribe to Dharma Veins. By joining us, you're not just following a channel, you're becoming part of a community devoted to sowing seeds of wisdom and peace. Morning after morning, together, we can remind one another that inner calm is not only possible, it is our birthright. Before we part, let us pause for a blessing. The Buddha taught that compassion extends beyond borders, beyond time, beyond the limits of the self. So in this moment, let us send our thoughts outward, not only for our own peace, but for the peace of all beings. May all who are suffering from war find safety and reconciliation. May all who endure natural disasters be protected and supported. May every being, seen and unseen, near and far, discover a breath of calm within the storm. May the light of loving kindness flow through us, reaching even the darkest places. May all beings be free from fear. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings know peace. As you carry these words into your day, I leave you with one question. Right finger, which of these 5 affirmations speaks to your heart the most right now? And why? I would love to hear your reflections. Your sharing not only strengthens your own practice, but it also helps others who may be walking through similar struggles. Until we meet again, remember, you are alive. This moment is enough, and within you already lies the power to create peace for yourself and for the world.